Good evening, everyone. Time for another silver update. Well, we had quite an exciting Easter weekend with silver exploding up to about 49.80, we'll say, on the overnight session last night. We had a tremendous collapse with the New York boys coming in about 7:30 and crushing it and gold, and everybody's freaking out. Everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off, thinking it's the end of the world. I wanted to show you how that's not the case, at least so far, with this trend line I've drawn, trend channel actually. You can see from about the 18th or so we've been trading in this trend channel until we broke out to the upside and then exploded. But if you see our recent correction, we're back down within this trend channel, and as I've shown before, the way you measure these trend channels is you just grab a couple of axis point crosses, like we'll pick $43 crossover for example, and we crossed 43 right there, 12 o'clock on the 19th. So we'll go out to 12 o'clock the next day, and we'll look for our line to cross again. I think it was right about there. So 12 o'clock on the 21st. So roughly 2 days, 2-day time frame from about $43 to $44.50. So we're looking at roughly 50 to 75 cents a day. This is the rate of this trend channel. So you can see that's 50 cents a day is 20 trading days. That's $10 a month. Or that's $120 a year pace. So obviously just this is a pace that we can't continue unless, we're just going through the roof. But it's still a good pace. We haven't broken down out of this. We do still have some support. Now I wanted to show the MACD because you can see we're rolling to the upside on it on this 10-minute, but if we go out to, let's go out to say the 30-minute MACD, you can see we've got a fantastic oversold reading here of 0.46. Now that's much lower than anything since the 24th of March. So we've already burned off an entire month of overbought conditions with this sell-off. So we want to jump out one more. Let's go to the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour we're actually down to 0.3 negative. And you can see if we draw our line here, we are back to the most oversold since the 14th of March, 15th of March. So we'll take it out one more, and we haven't quite come down yet. So our points we're looking for are around here and here and here. So when we get out to the 2 hour, we're not in what would be considered oversold territory, although we burned off a lot of overbought. So if we stay sideways or keep drifting lower, we'll probably burn most of that off. So although a lot of people are panicking and going crazy, this is a top, we're going to crash, etc., really we just had a wild run and we're in a correction. It may be a correction, something on the order of this correction or of this correction, or it may be a little bit more. But that's what happens with bull markets. Now this one actually kind of looks like a parabolic. It has that curve to it. As I was saying before, I didn't see the kind of curve that I would expect to see with a parabolic. This is actually showing that type of curve. So if this is a parabolic and it's going to correct, we may get a correction down to here, or we may get one down to 40, or we may get one down here around 36, or probably worst case scenario I would say 32, roughly 31 and a half, 32. That is possible. We could get that type of correction. I don't really expect it because of the really tight situation we have in the physical market. And I wanted to use that to segue into some articles. First of all, I wanted to touch upon an article that is posted on Zero Hedge today about APMEX, and Tyler's saying that APMEX has started reverse inquiry seeking to buy any quantity of silver from clients at $3 over spot. Pretty much this is about the Silver Eagle, but APMEX has always bought back a lot of the product. Usually there's about a $3 to $6 spread, and they're willing to buy back. That's pretty common. If we do look at APMEX, so this seems a little bit alarmist, but if we look at APMEX, it does have a lot of May 13th delivery for Silver Eagles, so still a very, very tight situation in the physical. Not something that you would expect to see in market tops. I don't think there's a lot of people who are coughing up their physical. There's some, but I don't think there's a lot. Now I wanted to jump to my eBay account real quick because I wanted to show you. This is the reason why I've talked before about trying to find good purchases on the numismatics, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this. As I pointed out before, my last buy point was about $25. It's actually this dip right here, and we ran up quickly to 30 and fell back, and just because of this rollover here on the MACD, I decided, well, I think I'm going to pull the trigger. And that was the last time I bought, back last fall in late November. And one of the coins that I bought, more than any other coin, I bought a number of coins, but one of the coins I bought more than any of was the Lunar Tiger. There was a lot of reasons I found that an appealing coin. For one, it was the year of the tiger. It's China. China is kind of a tiger, and it's a beautiful coin, absolutely stunning coin. And they had these on Gainesville. There weren't too many left, and I was able to pick up a bunch of them for $5 over spot. So at about 25 they were trading 30, so I picked up a whole bunch of these tigers for 30 bucks a piece. Now, as you can see, they're gone. If you check the other sites, they're gone, but here's what they're going for. Now this is actually, don't go by this $90 one here, because this is actually Lunar Series 1. There are actually two different Lunar Series. I didn't like this coin as much. I didn't think it was as artistically pleasing as the other. Well, maybe I was wrong, because this one's selling for 90 bucks. But the ones I've got, you can see, here's one that went for 65 with free shipping. Here's 66, so that's 70 bucks there. Here's a 2-ouncer that went for 190. That's kind of interesting. Here's another one went for 60. Here's a Lunar Series 1, that one for 75. There's a 2-ounce Lunar Series 1, 175. Here's my coin, 66. And so if you go back, they're holding above 60. I think if you went back a ways, Let's go back quite a bit here. There's a 2 ounce. We want the 1 ounce. Here's a 1 ounce for $70 back on the 21st. So let's go back. Let's jump back maybe early April or maybe March and take a look at this coin, because we hadn't really gone into these parabolic crazy runs. Okay, here's one, $60, April 14th. And here's one, okay, 48. So that's back on the 11th. So that's the 11th of April. That's back when we were at about $40. So we've run a ways from there. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is that people tend to get really panicky and jumpy when these type of market moves happen. That's one of the tremendous advantages you have as a physical silver collector, because this coin isn't going anywhere. There's none left. And to tell you the truth, I don't know what they would have to do to the silver price to crash this back to the $30 I bought it at. Would silver have to get cut in half from here? This is 60. Cut in half from here. Let's say we go back to 20, 22, 23. It'd be 23 based on our $46 price right now. So I'm just pointing this out to show you that it's much easier to collect the physical. First of all, because it's not that easy to turn over and panic out of. And second of all, you can take your pick of these rare numismatic beautiful coins that have an added feature of just running out and not being any more of them left. So it's a time to sit back and look for an entry point. We may get some really good prices. I don't have a lot of dry powder at this point, so I'm not really sure if I'm prepared to buy. If we get lower prices, we may get 40. If we get 35, I think there's going to be a lot of people jump in if we get those types of prices. So it's just very comforting to be in the physical, something that you know that really regardless of price you're not going to get rid of until we really move up into the high triple digits and things like that. And then it will have served its purpose, because it will have caused you to hang on to it. So I want to go to the last article, and this is on Zero Hedge as well. And this is called Things That Make You Go, like Silver Conspiracies Theories Part 2. I was going to read a lot of this, but I don't really have time, so I'll link it so you can read it. But I did want to jump to one really important chart here that this guy puts in this article. And I'll do a little reading here. What's missing here? Well, it seems to me the only missing ingredient is a nice simple announcement from those parties holding the alleged shorts that details exactly how their shorts on the COMEX are, in fact, bona fide hedges, and how the conspiracy theories are nonsense. That in itself should ease the pain at a stroke and send the tinfoil hat brigade scurrying for their spam and shotgun cartridge-laden bunkers and bring the silver price back down to fair value. Of course, if there is some truth to the rumors, maybe the government can step in and save the day by delivering some of their own silver into the shorts. So, a couple of real key points he brings up here. First of all, this is an excellent chart because it shows you total silver bullion inventories, and the categories are government, other, and ETFs. So it's really interesting. As you can see, in about 2005, this drastic decline in the inventory of silver, which had occurred, the decline started to occur rapidly about 1990, and it stopped and reversed about 2005. But what's interesting is you can see the green are the silver ETFs, okay, And this dark blue is the government stockpiles here. Now, if we just look at the government stockpiles, they're gone. They're out. And the ETFs are growing. And then this other seems to be growing. Now, what really gives you pause here is, why is it that it started rising when the ETFs came into play here? Did all of a sudden a whole bunch of silver start getting found that wasn't found up until that point? Did a whole bunch of mining supply get put aside because the usage of silver has been steadily increasing? They've been running a deficit every year, but all of a sudden with these ETFs, we start going back up again. So, fascinating chart. Really gives you pause about these ETFs. Is there really silver there? And what is this other category? And back to his question, why doesn't the government just step in and save the day? Well, I think the reason why the government doesn't step in and save the day is because the government can't step in and save the day. I don't think the government has any silver anymore. So, very interesting chart. I encourage you to read this article. And we are in very volatile times. We're waiting to see where this shakes out. Next support's about 45.25. And then there's a lot of lower prices to penetrate. And as I said, for those of us holding physical, kind of a big yawn, because as you can see, our physical silver isn't declining even though the price of the paper is. So we'll talk to you next time.